Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. And I had up alone, I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect.
Welcome people, Lumini here, back again with another episode of the Sunderland Save here on my channel. We are starting this one up by having a quick look through at the youth setup. Obviously we now have one. This was something we lacked last season. We didn't really have any youth players to talk of. I think Logan Anderson is probably going to be the next one to be called up. Christian Kennedy could also. We've had a pretty good start to the season so far. We currently find ourselves sat in 8th place on 17 points after 5 wins, 2 draws and 3 losses. And that actually the losses coming to teams that we probably should be losing to, the likes of United, Chelsea and Arsenal. Last episode we had a decent episode, starting off with a 3-1 win over Fulham, then a massive win in the derby against Newcastle, a 2-0 win. We then would slip to a 4-2 loss but respond with a 4-2 win over Everton. In this episode we have Crystal Palace, Man City, Sheffield and Burnley. So I'd say Sheffield and Burnley are definitely 2 games that we'll be keeping an eye on, because they are 2 of the games against the other teams that came up with us. So progress check, I would say they kind of serve as. No changes to the team, so let's go.
The cameras are fixed to one man. Will he add to his total of 4 goals from
Wilfred
his last
Zaha
3?
we're looking at, I'm
This
pretty
is
sure.
EA TV.
Like I said though, there are no easy games for us
Well, this is the team
at the moment this season. Jack Butland starts in goal for them, Torre Correa, Guardiola, Gahey and Philip Max at the back, Will Hughes and Ceballos in the midfield with Ayew, Sesko and Zaha up top. So a couple quality signings in there for this Crystal Palace side. Obviously we already know our team, so we don't need to take a look at it. Joe Gelhardt going to try and find Diallo, who's trying to peel away. And go back to Gelhardt, who has space. It's a good save by Butland in there. Gunter. Go forward to Gelhardt. Gunter.
Pushing for the goal that would
Do
put them
it in
ahead,
the
but
centre. It's a good header, but it's going to stay out. I can't believe that has stayed out. The shooting stats from Joe Gelhardt just right now aren't shining through. You can see just how close this is to being a goal for us. Just fails to roll across the last little bit of the ball. From their corner, we win our own corner. Josh Brown going to swing this one in. McCallum gets a very powerful header to it, but it's another block and save, kind of both coming together. What's just happened there? I've never seen a ball like that be played before. Oh no, good save. Etienne Green is offside from Zaha though. Sesko's going to bring it down. Oh, I thought Green was just going to leave that there, but he does actually end up diving backwards. Danny Ceballos is going to have to come off. And Luke Thomas, which is an interesting one. Thought Luke Thomas was more of a left back. Etienne Green going to get his hands on the ball from the corner over Vardio. I would say that has been quite competitive in terms of a first half. We dominated the early goings for sure. Should have had 2 goals in that first half. But getting saved by the post on one, and then a combination of Butland and the Vardio, I think it was, on the line to stop the other. Philip Max does come narrow, so it gives Semedo space. Gahey's trying to come across. See if we can find Diallo. Ambitious attempt. Goes with the acrobatic volley. We will put it out for a goal kick.
Many thanks to Alex. Well, possibilities in the centre.
Diallo's got the space. There it is. We had been on top again at the beginning of this half. We've had a lot of shots, and it's taken a long time to finally get past Butland and finally get the shot on target. But we do manage to do it.
This was always coming.
Good ball from Gunter just to find him. No pressure on Diallo either in the middle. So he basically has a free shot at goal. Amad Diallo 5 goals this season along with 8 assists.
Palace get the game. Stewart.
Ross Stewart, not known for his passing, but finds Joe Gelhardt.
Joe Gelhardt.
Cut inside. Oh, Joe Gelhardt might not score a lot, but he does score bangers. And that is a great finish from Joe Gelhardt to put us 2-0 up there. Like I said, Ross Stewart doesn't often play those balls over the top. You can see the momentum died a little bit because I think it was backspinning. But Joe Gelhardt does manage to bring it down. He can dribble and he can finish when he has the opportunities from stupid ranges that he shouldn't finish from. He does tend to score them. We'll try to play an ambitious ball through to Correa, but not going to go through. That should be the end of the game there. And it is a convincing 2-0 win over Crystal Palace. They only really gave us a problem at the end of the first half. Besides from that, we pretty much dominated the game. Another 3 points in the bag for us. Surprising season. I was expecting us to struggle a lot more. Joe Gelhardt with 4 attempts, only 1 goal, but obviously the goal he did score was a wonder goal. So you kind of have to take your little victories here or there. Obviously you can see there we absolutely dominated the game. The man who got man of the match in the game was Gunter with an 8.3. However, I'm going to give it to Joe Gelhardt for the wonder goal because it was an amazing goal, and I think it's only his maybe first or second goal of the season, so it's an important one for him. Good work, Joe. So that one does see us move all the way up into 6th place. It's probably only temporarily, considering teams around us currently have games in hand. We've got also a lot of stuff coming in here. Transfer offer come in here for Ellis Taylor, which I will accept because we did just transfer list him. Jay Matete's also gone up in rating. Again, see another email about that. Etienne Green, Ross Stewart getting called up, Nelson Semedo and Christian Gunter. They will all be part of their national team setups. More scout reports coming back here. We'll see if there's anyone looking particularly promising. Right now, not so much in Scotland. Got a decent looking one there. 93 here, so I think those two will be called up. We'll leave Alistair Fraser for now. And then the English boys, 84, probably not. No, definitely not. English boys, not. Oh, I've just accidentally signed one. So, who else do we add to this? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Alistair Nicol, but no. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. You guys will know the ones that were there before and the ones that weren't. No, like I said, no one at the moment that looks like they're going to be called up. I am actually lying, and I'm going to call up Logan Anderson because he's hit a 61 now. So we'll try and get him out on loan. But yeah, next up we have Manchester City. We do actually manage to hold on to 6th place with the teams around us having now played their games. So we are riding very high in the Prem. But yeah, next up we have Man City, who sit in 2nd after a bunch of training. Ellis Taylor will be going to Ross County for 240 grand. Alright, here we go. Manchester City. We are at home for this one. Ferguson wants to play, which I'm sorry, Nathan. That just is never going to happen. We are currently in 7th going into this one. Like I said, we are at home, but we do come into this one against Manchester City, who obviously have an incredible team, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for us to get anything out of this game.
All eyes on one man. What a fabulous start to the season.
Erling Haaland actually has less goals this season than Ross Stewart right now, though. So much quality. I'm even scared to see who's on their bench. We're going to look at the lineups. Obviously, you know ours is exactly the same as it has been for the last few games, because we are playing well, to be fair. We've had good control. Even against the big teams, we've had good control. We just lack that quality edge sometimes in the finishing that the big teams possess. Let's take a look at the City lineup. Ederson in net, Amad Dedic, Ronald Araujo, Ruben Diaz, Sergio Gomez at the back, Thomas Lemar, Rodri and De Bruyne. A lot of creativity in that midfield. Mahrez, Haaland, Foden up top. Still have Alvarez, Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, Calvin Phillips. Like I said, a crazy amount of quality in this Man City lineup. Alongside the likes of Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, Thomas Lemar, who can all create and score themselves. It only takes City 2 minutes to make it through our defence, in fact. Which is pretty bad from us, to be fair. It wasn't even Erling Haaland that we had to worry about. It was Kevin De Bruyne. Well, that is possibly the worst start that we could have had against City. Defending wise, we've been very shaky. Reece Oxford again. Reece Oxford keeps stepping out and not getting the ball. Erling Haaland now does get a goal. Powers it in before anyone can even react. It's good passing from City, but Reece Oxford has to stay with Haaland, not step up. I don't know why he's decided there to step up. We had broken the City pressure for a little bit there. We weren't really taking advantage of it. That's a terrible challenge, referee. He's really going to let that go. Right, well, City also have the referees on book by the look of things. Josh Brownhill's going to return the favour there. Right, sweeping attack now. Ross Stewart has a chance. One-on-one with Ederson, and we do get a goal back in this one. Ross Stewart slamming one in. Trying to keep himself ahead of Erling Haaland in the Golden Boot race. We can get into these positions because City push a lot of players forward. If we can counter with enough quality, we can find those open spaces. It's not going to be easy, but we just need to basically repeat what we did there and play around the press. See if Semedo can do a slightly better job up against Foden.
Sergio Gomez.
Reece Oxford does well to get in on that one. Can't really press us there. Ross Stewart is going to have a chance late on in this half, though. Ross Stewart does not make mistakes when you give him opportunities. 2-2 going into half-time, just as extra time gets announced. We do see that run, the classic Ross Stewart cutting run. Does have the pace to stay away from Ruben Diaz. Araujo can't recover. And one-on-one, I don't care who your goalkeeper is. One-on-one, Ross Stewart. He loves to finish one-on-one opportunities. 12 in 12 now for Ross Stewart.
So underway again, and it's a story of parity.
It is 2-2 against the somewhat unbeatable looking City.
Free kick forthcoming.
I didn't think that was that bad of a challenge, if I'm honest. Going to be a late free kick for City. Going to loft one high into the box. We will head it back out. And that will be half-time. We do go in drawing 2-2 with City, but we have seen how dangerous City are. But like I said, on the counter, there are spaces, there are openings, and there are opportunities. We had the same thing early in an earlier game against Chelsea, where we did manage to draw things up with a Ross Stewart double and go into half time at 2-2. We would eventually lose that game 4-2. It's going to go across to Kevin De Bruyne. Ross Stewart is back in there. Thomas Lemar going to take the shot. It's going to get blocked. It's going to fall back to him. I hate those ones so much. I'm not watching you run all the way to your manager. It's just pointless. I hate those ones so much because you block them and it sends the player away. I can't send Sirkin across to block it because then he'll just play it to Haaland, who's free, and Oxford can't recover. Foden going to go back to Rodri here. Going to press Araujo since he's literally back by himself.
Looks like a twisted knee.
Here it comes. Like I thought. Yep. Yeah, it's unlucky. It's going to be the same result that we've had from the last couple of meetings with big teams. I think it's just lack of quality in certain areas sometimes. I actually think we played very well. I don't think we've done anything wrong that's made us deserving losers. Like passes like that are things that we need to cut out, but those can happen to any team. That's just bad luck. Like stuff like that is the stuff that I don't like, because there isn't much that I can really do to stop that from happening. Gelhardt heads it down, but Diallo isn't there for it. Mara's coming forward with it now.
He's got past his man.
Dribbling wise, and you can tell possession wise, City are obviously just better than us.
And there it is.
That is just, I hate that. Yeah, we're just gonna, this game's over. I'm just gonna jump to result. We're not gonna win. 7-2. Come on, get off of that. Get off. That's ridiculous. 5-2, sure. 7-2, fuck off. That's just annoyed me now. I wish I hadn't jumped to result. I knew the game was over, but man, that is so ridiculous. Josh Brownhill is going to be suspended for our next game, and Amad Diallo is out for 5. But we move on from that. Next up, we have Sheffield United. Short loan move for Logan Anderson has been agreed, so we'll see if he accepts a loan move out Scotland. Do you know what? I'm going to accept that for now. I think it could be interesting because obviously we have, like I said, we have Richie. We are at the next game. Josh Brownhill won't be available for this one. So Jay Matete will be getting a start with Dan Neal replacing him on the bench. I'm also going to give Richards a start in this one, but we'll wait until we actually go in. We do have a press conference to do as well, so we'll get that done now. Hi guys, welcome to the press conference. We're ready to take questions whenever you're ready to ask them. Excuse me, if we could keep the questions about football and what's going on in the game. No fourth wall breaks here, please. We're talking about the game, not about the way that I currently look. Next question. Look, first half, I think we were competitive with City. I think we pushed them. We went in 2-2 and it was looking positive for us. But yeah, the quality of City showed through. They made a couple of changes. It's happened to us before against Chelsea earlier in the season. And yeah, they just really took advantage of us in the second half. We kind of capitulated. We've talked about it and we're looking to rectify things. We've been on a good run of form before that game. So I'm confident that we can bounce back. Yeah, we're riding high at the moment. Like I said not long ago, I wasn't expecting us to quite get out of the blocks as fast as we have, but the form of Ross Stewart and Amad Diallo especially, there's a lot of other boys in the team that I could mention as well, the wing backs, but those players especially have helped push us up the table and they're keeping us high at the moment. And yeah, I've just got to say I'm thankful that everything is gelling the way that it is. There's slip-ups every now and then. Like I say, sometimes you can see the difference in quality between our teams when subs are made and stuff like that. But those are things that the boys will learn to cope with as they're in the as the season goes on. And I think we'll be okay to make a good run of trying to stay up this season. Your next two games are against teams that were also promoted last season. Can you talk to us a little bit about the importance of these games? Games like this against the other teams that got promoted, I like to see them as kind of like a progress report on how we've done our business and how we've continued to move forward and how we're doing this season. Obviously, we can see based on the table that we're having a good season as it is, but the other promoted sides, they're the ones that you really, if you're looking to avoid relegation, they're the ones that you really need to be beating, and that's what we're going to look to do in this game against Sheffield. Thanks, guys. Alright, here we go. Sheffield, one of the newly promoted sides alongside ourselves. Like I said, I'm going to put Richards in for this one. I'm also going to let Ferguson have a start on the left, and Cole will come in as well. I think we'll keep everything else the same. Besides from that,
Cameras trained on one man. 4 goals in 3 games.
Top
You
goal
can't
scorer,
argue with that. The
Ross
action
Stewart.
is live. Next.
Don't actually think that is Ross Stewart that they're showing there, though. Who was that? I'm pretty sure that wasn't a Sunderland player because they were in red and white stripes from what I remember, and we're in our away kit, so that can't have been us. But anyway, let's take a look at the Sheffield lineup. Wes Fodringham in goal, who obviously had one amazing performance against us. Pretty much the same backline. John Buckley, Ishmael Koulibaly in midfield, Diego Rubio behind Evan Gassan and Gyasi Zardes, which is interesting to see. Daniel Jefferson, Max Lowe on the bench. Couple changes for us, but nothing too, what do you say, drastic. Good tackle to Hood. We'll find Richards. He can sweep it on to Ross Stewart. We'll go back to Richards. Richards gets his first goal of the season. This is why we put Daniel Richards in for this game, because I want him to gain some confidence. Obviously, he's our homegrown player. Big fan of Daniel Richards, but he's kind of been outshone by Ahmed Diallo in the early bit of this season. Ross Stewart finds a very simple ball for him, though, and then a one-on-one against Wes Fodringham. He powers it into the far corner. Daniel Richards gets his first goal of the season into Ross Stewart to Hood. And put one through to Gelhardt, and we are going to immediately go 2-0 up. It's a very, very quick start from the Sunderland boys. Joe Gelhardt getting himself a goal in this one. Another good bit of play, finding the extra pass, and then a nice slid ball through from Mahmoud Dahoud. Good first touch from Joe Gelhardt, and then an easy finish, you have to say. We are 2-0 up. Daniel Richards. Joe Gelhardt. Oh my god. This is what I mean about Joe Gelhardt. Scores that one. That one's arguably the easier chance. And he puts that one wide. Joe, come on. You got to be doing better here. Well, Osborne tackles it off the field, so we do get the throw. Don't know what quite happened there. Dahoud is going to find Jamie Tete. Goes back to Dahoud, who's going to unleash a shot. That's an absolute wonder goal from Mahmoud Dahoud. We are 3-0 up, and we are completely running over Sheffield right now.
Well, as you can see, this is a great bit of skill. He hits it perfectly, doesn't he? That's a brilliant strike.
That's an absolute wonder goal from Mahmoud Dahoud. Hasn't been scoring a lot for us, but has had a big impact in the midfield for us. Gets himself another goal. We will have to check the stats at some point to see just how Dahoud and everyone are doing. We might even do that at the end of this game. Gassand goes across to Bogle. Cam Ferguson recover, not quite. Oh, it does find the ball across. It's actually not a bad header from Koulibaly. The first bit of threat that Sheffield have shown so far in this game. Who's going to pick up on the end of this one and hit one again. This one not quite with as much lift on it. And that will be the end of the half. We are 3-0 up over Sheffield. And if this is a progress check, you have to say that we've progressed a lot faster and a lot further than Sheffield. Obviously, we've probably spent a lot more money as well. But that's what you have to do to stay in the league, and that is what we're doing. I'm going to try and chip one through to Gassam, but it's going to be headed down. Dahoud now. Into Gelhardt. He's going to go into the feet of Daniel Richards. And now Gelhardt has got miles of space. And Gelhardt is going to put a fourth away. Sorry, there was just a spider climbing up my arm, which was horrible. If you know anything about me, you know I hate spiders. So that would be what me freaking out slapping my arm was about. But yeah, anyway, we do go 4-0 up. You would have to say game, set, match. Sheffield probably out of this one now. Second goal for Gelhardt. Good finish from Gelhardt. The Sheffield defence has opened up massively in this one. I kind of wish I'd put someone like Louis Ritchie on the bench for this. Dan Neal to whip this one in towards Ross Stewart. Ross Stewart does get up, and it's going to drop to Ross Stewart again. It's going to be 5-0 to Sunderland. Sheffield is in a terrible spot right now. Terrible spot. It's a good first header from Ross Stewart, climbing over the defender at the near post. I think it's Koulibaly. Good save from Fodringham, but none of the defenders react. Snapshot spin on it. Semedo finds Richards. Oh, it's a good save from Fodringham. Fodringham is a huge goalkeeper. I'm even tempted to bring him in as a rotational keeper for us, to be fair, if Sheffield go back down. Because every time I play against Fodringham, he has an amazing game. But we do walk out 5-0 winners over Sheffield. I'd say we're probably looking like we're staying up this season. I'd be surprised if we do go down with how we started. Joe Gelhardt does get 2, Ross Stewart gets 1 and assist, but I am going to give the inform to Mahmoud Dahoud because I think he just had a very good performance as well as scoring a very, very good goal for us in this one. So we will give Dahoud the inform. It's a very good finish, like I said, probably the pick of the bunch, I would say. But yeah, 5-0 winners. We move on to the last game of the episode. And with the return of Amad Diallo in that cam spot, Daniel Richards did actually have a good game against Sheffield, but obviously we have Amad Diallo playing incredibly at the moment, so we want to keep him in the team as much as possible. Josh Brownhill with the return of his former team in a good run of form, bar the slapping that we took from City. Back to our best lineup, I would say. I'd argue that Colwell could probably start over Sirkin, but just based on the fact that Colwell isn't a permanent transfer at the moment, Sirkin is going to stay in there. We do have Lewis Ritchie available if we decide to make a change at that cam spot. Burnley lineup is like this: Coutinho, Mancini, Boscagli and Taylor at the back, Granit Xhaka, Zukowski in the midfield, Chirilov, Bastien and Twine behind Wout Weghorst. So they have made a few signings, to be fair to them, with Boscagli and Mancini. That is very interesting. Burnley definitely have started this game a lot better than Sheffield started the game against us last game out. Ross Stewart has a run on goal here and takes a strike. It's off the crossbar from Stewart. It's going to drop to Gelhardt and he's going to hit the post. Again, it should be 1-0. Josh Brownhill going to find that ball out to Nelson Semedo that we like to find. See if we can find Gelhardt coming in at the back post. My God, what a cross and what a finish from Joe Gelhardt. He's finding his shooting boots finally, but what a cross. Nelson Semedo putting it on a plate for him. Look at that run off the back of Coutinho. Coutinho can't do enough to stop Gelhardt getting onto the end of the ball. What part of Gelhardt actually gets that ball? Coutinho tries to swing it to clear and misses. Joe Gelhardt has his 6th goal of the season. Back to Churinov. Good work, Sirkin, but it falls back again. Dennis Sirkin needs to stop doing that. He does that so often where he intercepts the ball, you tell him to clear it and he just doesn't. Like here, you can see that I've told him to clear, but he's just got the ball rubbed off of him. Wout Weghorst. I'm not too worried about Wout Weghorst's pace. The strength you saw that he just used there on Sirkin, though, is what I'm concerned about. And again, Sirkin doesn't deal with an intercepted ball.
They should be ahead. They need to play with more urgency to win this one.
Well, looking to put the ball to good use here.
And that will be the lead. Sorry that I went quiet there. I was concentrating. The block defence from this Burnley side is really, really tough to get around. So I wanted to make sure that I did find the extra passes there. It was a good run from the corner from Semedo, then some good control. Brownhill with a good touch finds Joe Gelhardt in the space. Joe Gelhardt can get his 7th of the season and 2nd in this game, powering it into the far corner once again. We are 2-1 up. Oh, he's going to cut inside here. Good shot, but goes straight at Etienne Green. Not as comfortable a game as I was expecting us to have against Burnley, to be honest. That's a very, very poor challenge from Coutinho there. Could even be a red card. It's a very poor challenge. He somehow does get away with a yellow. If we take another look at this one, it's a very poor challenge. Gunter going away from goal, completely wiped out. Has Joe got... He was, yeah, he's got the power, hasn't he? But not the accuracy. That's what I remember. We are just going to try and hit this one with Joe Gelhardt, I think. See what happens.
Just can't get it past the wall.
Joe Gelhardt to power another one that is only deflected away. Does.
Chance to do damage.
Into now running at Vitinho, because obviously Vitinho can't put the challenge in. It's a good header there, and it's a good save. It's deflecting all around the box. Dahoud! Mahmoud Dahoud gets up powerfully. Notices the goalkeeper hasn't recovered and got back on his line, and lobs the goalkeeper with the header. Mahmoud Dahoud is becoming a bit of a goal scoring midfielder for us in this one. Or in this episode, I mean by this one.
Here it is again.
You can see the powerful header from Ross Stewart. It's only punched then. The keeper doesn't go back on his line. Mahmoud Dahoud just lofts it high. You can see Buscaglia is trying to recover to get back on the line there, but can't quite get back in the right position. And it is lofted over. We do go 3-1 up through a Mahmoud Dahoud header, which isn't something I'd expect to be saying. A lot of players crowd out. Gelhardt though, Richie's going to try and nick this ball off Vitinho, can't quite get across to it. It's a good ball through to Churinov, and it's a good finish from Churinov. I said I was confident, maybe I'm less confident now. We do have possession for the last couple of minutes, so we probably will just hold on to it, maybe try and get a late attack. Burnley definitely look like they do have what it takes to stay up this season though, I have to say. They're looking in a lot better shape than Sheffield, that's for sure. I think Burnley did have a lot more young players to develop though. And obviously mixing them with the likes of Xhaka and Weghorst, who are experienced players, probably has given them slightly better of an opportunity. Levi Colwill there, you've got to be doing better with that challenge. It's a very late, dangerous free kick now for Burnley. Xhaka to take it. But it is, Ross Stewart. We do walk away with a 3-2 win. We make it a little bit risky for ourselves at the end of that one. Burnley did turn it on, but like I said, yeah, I think Burnley probably had a lot more younger players to work with to mould a bit more, so I think they'll be in a better position for sure. Considering we gave Mahmoud Dahoud the inform last game out, we're not going to give it to him in this one. We are going to give it to Joe Gelhardt though, because Joe Gelhardt did get his 2 goals. Well done, Joe, for your inform. So that is going to be where this episode finishes. We do have Alistair Fraser being scouted away, which is okay. Logan Anderson will be going on the short loan deal, and Amad Diallo's position change will be coming through to change this one up. Finish this one up. So there we go. He is now officially a cam. That will see us finish the episode off in 7th place. So definitely a good run for us. And I'd say we're probably on for avoiding relegation pretty comfortably. But yeah, that is going to be the end of this one. Please like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell to get notified about when the next episode is available to you. And I hope to see you in it. Peace.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends.